Hello, Salla here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm being a little bit lazy today when it comes to Junk Journal July UK. So the prompt is brown paper. It's already the 25th prompt. We're getting closer to the finishing, but not there yet, so let's keep going. This is already quite bulky, although I took off the first signature and all, but let's not worry about that too much. So, brown paper. Here we have some brown paper, but on top of that I'm going to clean my desk a little bit for my journal. These are, for the most part, things I've used in the last few videos. They were still on my desk, so I think it's time to get rid of them a little bit. I have some stuff from yesterday's video. This is from Be Happy Stationery's Hell Herbology Kit, and then I have plenty of stuff from Elizabeth. That is Petals and Parchment. I think the kit is called Necessary Notions, perhaps. I will link both of those down below if you want to check it out. But this is what I have on my desk today, and of course some washi tape and all the materials I think on the way. So I don't know, this is my starting point, and let's see what we will get done today. I think at least some flaps, because I really don't feel like I want to completely cover these beautiful pages. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Welcome, glad you joined me today. Let's get crafty. I started with today's star, which is brown paper, and I just needed a small-ish corner for my page, which is what I'm cutting here. I decided to bring in my paper trimmer so that I could have an even 90-degree angle. Then I started building up layers on top of my brown paper. Just some rough thinking of how I wanted to place everything, where I want to put things, and so on. At this time, it was still just a rough idea, so I wasn't too worried about moving things or something like that. But it's just a starting point. Then I started with this yellowish paper, and of course I forgot to ink it, so I had to do so while I already had the glue on it. And I just glued that on the brown paper and got the excess off. There we go. If you don't know where to start, just start somewhere is usually what I do. There I was playing with the placement of things, and then I just pretty much started from the top, not quite, but kind of from the top, and started gluing things down. Usually I kind of go to not only the easy access of things I can take off easily and then put back without moving anything, but I'm also looking for things that connect the other pieces together, or perhaps something that I really want to place in a specific way. Something that I really want to stay where it is, or show from behind the other things. Basically things that the placement is important. So that's where I start. I also added the prompt Many times I have done that pretty much the last thing on my page or spread, but this time I started with it. Then I started doodling. I decided to do some stitching, faux stitching along the edges, because I think that's fun. But this time around, I did not stop there. I also wanted to make some other doodles like leaves and diamonds and whatnot, so you can see me drawing them here. The pen that I'm using is just a regular black, I guess it's a type of a gel pen. Not really sure. It's it's just a regular pen, nothing fancy. And the reason why I'm doodling on my page rather than doing it on my desk is that the surface of my desk is not completely even. It has some nooks and crannies. So using that pen on a hard, uneven surface on a quite a thin paper, it's not a good combination. So here I'm done doodling, and it's time to glue that down. I'm showing you here that I could have made it a corner tuck or a sort of a pocket if I would have just glued down those two even edges, but I decided not to. I'm just gluing it straight onto my page. There we go. Then it's time for the second page. Surprisingly, the piece that I selected was the correct height. I did first fold a hinge so that I could attach this to be flap on my page, but then I just tore the other edge off. It's a little bit shorter than my page, which is actually good so that it doesn't get in the way so much whenever I'm flipping the page. That's what I'm trying to say. This is actually a fun way to clean up your desk mid crafting, or more like mid project. Of course, you could do this whenever you are done working with the project, but I don't know. I don't know about you, but I have a huge, or actually multiple boxes of scraps already from projects of all kinds that I don't really have a purpose for. I guess I could just throw them away, but I don't see a point in doing that either. Sometimes when I want to craft with my kids, for example, I go through those boxes and they can just take whatever they want, or if I have something I'm working on and I feel like there's just a little bit something missing, I might go through the box and just kind of see if there's something that would fit. Here you can see me building up my second cluster or collage, whatever you want to call it. But yes, I really go to the box with the idea of, hey, let's make a scrappy project, which I probably should do more often. But I don't know. At this point, I I was in one design team for a long time, and I recently left the team. So right now I have tons of materials printed, half finished, and so on from that company that are they're beautiful, but I don't necessarily feel like I want to make videos of them, or maybe not even use them. I don't know. They're just waiting, waiting there to see what happens, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. I guess more or less all crafters have boxes like that, or scraps that are waiting for the right time, I guess. I already finished the main part of my cluster, and now I'm just building some background layers basically. There we go. And this also I could have made a pocket, but because the page of or page that consists only of the brown recycled packing paper that I'm using here, it's a little bit flimsy. So I felt like layering things on top of it and gluing them down completely instead of making pockets and something like that would be smarter. It would make it a little bit sturdier. That being said, I did make a pocket on the other side. I'm quite pleased with this spread. I like the way it corresponds, especially because there's the tiny bit of lace showing. You can see it right here, but it's showing from the behind this page that I'm working on basically. I like that. And here I was thinking about building a cluster here on the seam, but eventually I took those two pieces off and just left the washi tape that I added in the beginning. But here you can see me using one pocket from Sandra's kit. Once again, the Hell Herbology, which is the official kit for Junction of July UK. Then I had this clothes tag, price tag, whatever. And I wanted to cover it with something, so I just decided to take some book page. I inked around the edges to bring some more color and contrast and things like that. And then I glued it on the page. I think I did something more to this. I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, building more layers. Here comes the washi tape. There we go. I just got the excess off. Then I pressed it down and started building more layers. In some of my previous videos, I really wanted to use the numbers, but somehow I just couldn't find a correct place for them, I guess. So finally, I had a chance to use them. Yay! Of course, I needed to add some brown paper, just a strip, but it's there. I know it's there. And then I took the number 5 and started to look for something I could pair it up with. I felt like the first stamp that I tried, I would have preferred the color, but it was a little bit too big. And the third one that I tried, it was too small. And I think at this point I only had red options left in the correct size range. So that's what I went with. It probably would not have been my first choice normally, but it was meant to go there, I guess. Then for the back, I took some additional brown paper, and I was struggling to find my ruler at that point, but when I did, I used the ruler as some help or as a guide to rip the correct size of or right size piece of that brown paper. I think I inked it, just it doesn't show much, but when the edges are ripped, they usually kind of like suck in the ink so that you can actually see it, which is great. And it just brings a little bit something to the edges, even though it's not super obvious. Then I was at first thinking that I would build a cluster there, but I decided to let it be like the way it is, especially because the page was so pretty. And then I was just folding the edge, and that's the page done. So I've finished the spread, and my pile of random stuff on my desk is a lot smaller, which makes me really happy. I made this cluster, then this cluster, this flip, and a tag in a pocket behind the flip. Really simple, but I enjoyed the process and I hope you did too. And thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a thumbs up, a kind comment down below, and consider subscribing to my channel if you are new here. Thanks for today, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye for now.